Hell's Paradise episode 1 was very interesting to watch. Now, I personally have never read the manga, so this is going to be my first jump into this world. And I will say it was very intriguing to me, a lot of the things I was learning as the story progressed. Initially, it started off kind of slow. You saw our main character, Gabimaru, just there kneeling over. Somebody's about to swing a stick, a sharp stick on his neck, to kind of unalive him. And he survived this, which was pretty cool. I was like, okay, so this dude's got powers. What's it going to be? Come to find out that it's ninjutsu. So this dude is a better version of Sasuke. One of the main things we learn early on that we get introduced to a girl named Sagiri. Now, she's pretty cool. She's also technically right now a reporter, which we later find out she's actually an executioner and she's sent on a mission to recruit Gabimaru, as it's clear again that he does have otherworldly powers, or he just used the jutsu to strengthen himself. Now, initially, it's kind of obvious that Gabimaru, for some reason, is unable to be unalived. But we also come to find out that his body is reacting by itself, because Gabimaru claims that he's a hollow, he's empty inside, which isn't true. For some reason, his body is clinging to life and does not want to die, and we actually have no reason why he wants to live, but we're getting some back history early on in the episode, which is pretty nice, as Sagiri questions Gabimaru and asks him why is he here. We come to find out that Gabimaru was actually marrying the Okage's daughter. Well, it was actually the chief's daughter in the series, but ninjas, so Okage. But yeah, he was marrying his daughter, and which was pretty interesting. I would not have expected him to marry this girl. He calls this girl stupid because she married him, which is actually pretty funny in my opinion. We come to find out that they had a weird kind of relationship. They were very nice to each other. Well, she brightened his day. That was the better way to say it. So I was like, okay, this is nice. We also come to find out that he actually asked the chief to leave the village, but the chief told him yes. But what really happened was the chief set him up and allowed his minions to capture Gabimaru, which put him in this predicament where he's being executed for trying to leave the shinobi village, as leaving is against the law. It's betrayal. You're not allowed to do that. Once you enter the land of the shinobis, you do not leave. So with that being said, we move on to the next scene where we see Gabimaru trying to be unalived again, but his body reflexes comes into action and he survives this ordeal. Now, after multiple attempts for Gabimaru to be unalived have failed, we now get to the scene where we get to see Gabimaru. He's supposed to be interrogated, and his interrogator is no other than Sagiri. At this moment, he doesn't really know her name, but we come to find out that her name is Yamada Asamon Sagiri. Now, if I butchered that, I'm very sorry. I tried my best. Now, we come to find out as well that she's actually an executioner or sword tester for the Yamada clan, which is pretty cool. Now, I don't actually know if she's going to be a big person for this whole story altogether. As I said, I didn't read the manga, so I have no spoilers or idea what the story is really going to be about. But the way they're portraying her, like, she's such a big name, so I do expect we're going to see a lot more of her as the story progresses. Now, she's the interrogator for Gabimaru, as they failed so many different executions on him, and she basically confronts him and says, hey, I've been doing this for such a long time, and I can tell you are clinging to life. You do not want to die. So why are you putting up this front? And I believe the reason you still want to be alive is because you really love your wife and want to be with her. But the reason he does not want to live is because he realized he will never be with her again in his mind. And if he was to go out and, let's say, steal her and kidnap her, they'd be on the run for the rest of their lives, which would probably not be long because they're going up against a full shinobi clan with people that I'm assuming are as strong as Gabimaru. So with that being said, he just gave up on life even though he wants to see her again. And this is where Sagiri comes in with a proposition for him, simply stating that if Gabimaru is willing to take on this death-defying mission for the government will now give him protection for him and his wife, and they'll be able to pardon him, allowing him to live in peace for the rest of his life. Obviously, this piques my boy's interest. So essentially, he has to go to this heavenly divine realm called Sensekyo, a legendary land rumored to hold the elixir of immortality, and retrieve the elixir in competition with other death row criminals. Now, I think one of the best parts is once Gabimaru hears it, he goes, okay, no problem, I'm going to be with my wife, and he says yes to this mission immediately. Now, the last part of the scene, which was actually pretty funny to me, we get to see his ninjutsu for the first time, and he just bursts into flames on his body, and it looks so epic. Again, a better version of Sasuke. And he basically incapacitates all the guards around him because they couldn't take the steam. Sagiri, however, is standing, and she's in shock watching his ninjutsu, because I think I forgot something earlier. She was asking him to show what his ninjutsu was like earlier on in the series, and he just went, no, I ain't showing you, girl. And because of that, I'm very happy we're able to see it at the end of the series. So now we know he's super strong, he's durable, and he can summon fire apparently, which is epic. I mean, who doesn't want to summon fire around their body? I wonder what else he can do. Now, obviously, I can see where this series is going to take us. Right now, we're going to go to this magical world. There's going to be creatures, maybe, fantasy life out there, and he's going to have to compete against a lot of other strong people for this elixir of immortality. My question is, how are the fight scenes going to be? Are there going to be super intense and epic high quality fight scenes? Or are they going to be mediocre, but the story is what drives this series? I'm not sure yet. I'm also very curious to see if he's going to make a friend out of one of the many people that are going to be there on this magical island, because I don't think Sagiri is going to be with him for the whole time, or she's going to be able to keep up with the power scaling of this. So I'm assuming if she does tag along, she's going to be there to compete with some of the members, but not really much. Gabimaru's got to do most of it. So this is my take overall for the first episode of Hell's Paradise. I actually really enjoyed it. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10 because it was something that piqued my interest. Normally when I watch anime on the first episode, I don't always get intrigued. This was actually able to intrigue me the way they progressed the story, and I thought it was a little funny too. And they give a little bit of backstory just to make me want to know enough.